Here is another piece of testimony of the use of devices for developing the concentration of eternal life PRK-1U, configured according to medical profiles. Hello, I am Marina Adamina. I live in the city of Kirov. I have a medical education, and I want to share the results of my work on Grigory Petrovich Grabovoi's devices PRK-1U, configured for medical profiles. I got acquainted with the teachings of Grigory Petrovich in 2018. I copied some number series into a notebook, and that's it. And in mid-October 2020, I had a huge misfortune, very unpleasant. I suddenly got diarrhea right out of nowhere and it lasted for 2 months. What I haven't tried. For treatment, I used everything that I knew myself and what others suggested to me. Antimicrobial, antiparasitic, homeopathic, symptomatic, dietary supplements, probiotics, and so on and so forth. Better ask what I didn't use. There was no improvement at all. I lost more than 6 kilograms, I was dehydrated. And then I remembered about the number series. I chose the ones that were suitable in my opinion and worked as best I could. In the morning I felt much better. I shared this with my friend, and she suggested working on Grigory Petrovich's devices. I used only one device. The very first one, for rejuvenation with only one thought, the gastrointestinal tract is normal. That's all. I worked for about 10 minutes and the image disappeared. I decided that this is exactly how long you can work on this device. And I knew that I needed to work to enter the gaze counterclockwise, but then it somehow slipped my mind. For some reason I did it clockwise. At night I woke up in horror and thought, I did everything wrong. Well, what was I supposed to do? So, from the next morning I had a sharp improvement, like an instant one, and that's it. I forgot about my diarrhea completely. But for 3 months have passed since that moment, I no longer remembered this condition of mine when working on the devices. But, nevertheless, my improvements continued, the normalization of the gastrointestinal tract continued constantly. That is, now I can say, yes, my gas formation and rumbling in the stomach have decreased. That is, improvements continue to this day, but not as much, some kind of correction, just, you see, when everything, the disease continues for a long time, then we get used to our condition, and then something becomes like the norm. And now, when all this is changing for the better, then, of course, I understand that yes, everything is improving for me. So, now I'll tell you about vision. Vision. I started to have more frequent enlightenment, like when I work on devices, I have clear vision, but it's true for a short time. My blood pressure stabilized and became 120 to 80, well, plus or minus, literally just a little bit. And with any natural cataclysms, to which I used to react very sharply. My sleep has improved significantly. My hip joint stopped hurting because I said that I was young, healthy and beautiful. And when the joint starts to make itself felt a little bit, just a little bit, I quickly cultivate this thought in myself again. The result is instantaneous, everything stops. Also, the skin on my feet and hands became soft, velvety, tender, but all this without using cream. And my life became much more joyful. interesting, easier, and most importantly, calmer. I stopped reacting violently to many things, somehow with understanding. And nothing like that happens in my life anymore, to which I would need to react. And yesterday my mother's blood pressure rose sharply, 210 to 101. This is against the background of the fact that she constantly takes the same drugs as prescribed by the doctor. I dictated 3 number series to her over the phone, worked with them myself, and 2 hours later my mother calls and says, blood pressure has become 145 to 92, and now she promised that she will independently study these number series every day. Before, she was, well, not convinced of this. All these results are reflected in my testimony of March 7, 2021. In general, I am convinced from my own experience that this teaching of Grigory Petrovich Grabovoi is of a creative nature. It helps absolutely everyone who wants to live happily, joyfully, beautifully, and healthily. Well, that is, the one who makes certain efforts to their health. Nothing changes by itself, and the device itself will not do anything. You need awareness and a clear vision of your goal. I am very grateful to Grigory Petrovich Grabovoi. One, I'm grateful to my friend that she introduced me to this teaching. I am grateful to Marina Morotskina. And I also want to add that now, no matter who I meet with people who have some health problems, I tell everyone, absolutely everyone, my case, my sharp, instant healing, and I certainly offer to join the group, to work on the devices of Grigory Petrovich Grabovoi. This, I believe, is my purpose. People, be healthy. Thank you.